Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Huge match in the Premier League tonight. Chelsea taking on Arsenal. Live on Sky, of course. Loads of great games on Sky this weekend, I will say. And as we've got Chelsea and Arsenal in the studio, we thought we'd bring back our epic true or false paddles. Do you want to explain the rules if people have never seen this feature?
Absolutely. True or false paddles are out, so you can pick them up. Basically, we're going to read out a statement involving either Chelsea or Arsenal. You're going to then show a side of the paddle, true or false, and then we're going to have a debate after. Obviously, we've got Arsenal, we've got Chelsea, and we've got a football expert in Neve, so I want you to weigh in on which side of the argument you come down on as well, Neve. Should we go straight into the first one?
Go on.
All right, true or false? Chelsea will win the Premier League before Arsenal. Two falses and a true. Sam.
I didn't expect them to agree with me, to be honest. But you know, I said this on the last time I was here. There's just it's a different energy at Chelsea when you look at what we've won in the last few years. Obviously, you talk about where we finished last year and say, oh, how can he be saying that? But the progress that Pochettino has made with the squad, the players that have been brought in, the fact that there's a clear direction with the squad, and you can tell that we're building something. With Arsenal, I can understand that, you know, a lot of them... You can also tell they're building something. They're building something as well, but they haven't won the title in what, how many years is it? 20 years?
I don't count.
OK, 20 years, right? So you can't tell me that there's anyone really in the squad that knows what it's like to be in and around that type of winning team. With Chelsea, it's just a part of the mentality. It's a part of what we do.
But it's a very young squad at Chelsea, isn't it?
It is a very young squad, but you still got Thiago Silva, you've got Reece James that was there for the Champions League win as well. And I think it's just, for me, we didn't... Obviously, last year was really bad, but we didn't have to go a few years like Arsenal. They had, what, 3 or 4 years you finished 8th twice?
But it's about Chelsea, not Arsenal.
No, I'm just comparing because it's Arsenal and Chelsea. With us, you can tell that the owners, the manager, everything that they're saying is we want to get back to winning ways straight away, and I think that we're going to be able to do it.
Bhavs, you firmly disagree there because you're still holding the paddle up. So,
can I get like 2 more falses just like emphasise the point? Like, I respect what Chelsea are building. I mean, it's quite expensive to be fair, so you should win a title with £1 billion spent, but progression is right. You went from 16th to 11th. It's quite a lot of progression, and the energy is different. Bottom after energy, innit? So you have to sometimes understand that we are fighting for a title, fought for one last year. It's been a while since Chelsea were last in that conversation. So it's like a steady process. So getting the first top half first, then top 6, then top 4, and then maybe Arsenal enters the conversation as well. But look, I respect that Chelsea have won more titles than Arsenal recently, but look at the teams now on paper and how they compete. The last few games as well, Arsenal always kind of smash Chelsea. So listen, I can see the optimism. I get it, you know, I see it. But also, at the same time, you have to be realistic sometimes.
Neve.
Well, I mean, I can feel the passive-aggressive tension.
You were very calm just watching that.
Well, I was just watching Sam. I couldn't tell if he was trying to convince us or himself.
Trust me, I believe it.
I just think that Arsenal are serious title contenders this season. And that in itself should make you sort of veer towards the idea that they would win the title.
But do you think
Chelsea.
that City aren't going to win it this year?
Well, I don't know, but I just think looking at the Arsenal squad, you wouldn't be shocked if someone said they'd win the league in the next 3 years. Whereas with Chelsea, perhaps, you feel like it might take...
So I think that as long as Pep is in this league, and I've said this multiple times, they're just going to win the league. Yes, KDB's out, Rodri's missed a few games, but Rodri's going to be back in. And I think that they've just got a stronger unit that just have the know-how. They know what
But are Arsenal the best equipped right now, and they've got a young team as well. Look at how young that front line is.
But then when the conversation was, Saka might be out, Martinelli's out, Rice had an injury. Obviously, they all came back.
Beat City.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, but you played that team. Martinelli played the second half, right? Rice was playing.
Saka?
No Saka, but I think obviously they've got a better equipped team. But I just don't think City are going to lose it. Like, that's just me.
City had Rodri out in that game as well, didn't they? De Bruyne
exactly.
They had missing a few players as well, to be fair. But, yeah, I don't think they're going to agree on this.
No,
one,
let's go to the
move
next
on
one.
to the next one. True or false, Bukayo Saka will outscore Raheem Sterling this season? Let's have a look at your paddles. What are you saying?
Oi, more disagreement.
Oh, so you're going false?
Yeah, it was sort of a last-minute change of my mind. It's only because I think Sterling's been in really good form this season. He just looks quicker, doesn't he? He looks more off the mark. And where he positions himself in matches, as opposed to Saka. Maybe Saka's a bit more creative, sometimes a bit wider, whereas Sterling, he can be a bit more of a focal point. And just like in his instinctive positioning in the box, he might be relied upon a bit more for goals.
I I agree with that, and I was half and half of this, but the only reason I went with Saka is because his goal output last season was incredible, but this year you can already tell that they're struggling with their strikers in terms of Gabriel Jesus, Nketiah, Havertz not necessarily getting the goals that you'd expect from a striker. So I think that they're going to heavily rely on Saka and Martinelli again to have the similar output, and I think he's going to kick on. He's already started the season really well. If he stays injury-free, I think he'll definitely get a lot of goals.
Yeah, Saka 4 Premier League goals so far, Sterling 3 Premier League goals so far. So both started well, but you're going with your boy Saka?
Yeah, of course. Bukayo Saka has to be. I think he's getting into more goal-scoring positions, getting used to it as well. And, you know, he's still young, what, 21 years of age?
22, yeah.
He's 22 years of age, so I think he's getting used to it. And I think he's starting to realise that he's that guy now. So when he's taking more shots off his own, look at that first goal of the season against Forest, top bins. That's something he wasn't doing before. And I respect Sterling, of course you do, but you also see Chelsea, you know, do they make as many chances as Arsenal do right now?
We create a lot of chances.
You do, but I think Arsenal create just a little bit more, and I think we'll make more chances over the course of the season. And also, who's got better providers? Who's providing Sterling? Whereas we've got Odegaard, Martinelli, Jesus.
Don't sleep on Cole Palmer. Don't sleep on Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez. That's the thing. I agree with you to a certain extent, but I think he just edges it for me. I think Saka takes penalties as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they mix it up, but I think he's the main penalty taker. So yeah.
Even when they agree, they disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because he sends shots. He sends shots a few times when he says a few things about Sterling.
I think good point about the penalties there as well.
Yeah,
next one then, true or false? Reece James is a better player than Benjamin White.
Be honest. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest.
Better player.
You'd say okay.
Okay, let's go straight to you, Bhavs.
Look, I think availability is very underrated in football. And I ask yourself a question, right? No, but it's a question. It does. You know, you have to be available. And if Reece James is available for 20 games a season, I'd rather have Ben White available for 40 games a season. Do you know, that's more important to me.
Who do you think is the better player?
The better player on this day, I think, is Reece James. But I think
there we go.
Like, it's not far off as people make it out to be. James is a fantastic player, by the way, but so is Ben White. So I think I want a little bit more respect on Ben White's name. And I think availability is very important. Ben White is always available, is dependable as well. He also gets assists now. He goes forwards, he's very good defensively. And he's a unique player as well. So it's not like James is a very good player, and so is Ben White. But I think that availability thing has to be massive.
No, I agree with the availability thing. And I understand what you're saying, but I feel like what we've seen from Ben White at Arsenal at right back, he's been growing into that role. Reece James, he's already a quality, one of the best right backs in the world. Like, if you're talking about both of them being fit and you're going to start a game or you're going to build a defence around the right, you're going to pick Reece James because he's proven that when he's fit, he's the main focal point. That's why he got the captaincy, because he doesn't strike me as a player that is the loudest, but in terms of performance, he definitely is there. So I think it's close, but I think Reece James pips it.
Neve?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with Sam just about. But I do also agree about Ben White. He's that player that you'll always get like at least 7 out of 10 performance out of him. Whereas with Reece James, when he's at it, you know, you're talking 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
OK, next up, true or false, battle of the defenders. William Saliba will have a greater career than Thiago Silva. Wow. Thiago Silva, 39 years of age, don't forget, won 23 major club trophies.
Bhavs is keeping his head down here.
Saliba's still only 22, though, worth pointing out. OK, Bhavs, you're going true.
Yeah, I did go true.
He doesn't believe this.
No, I do.
Sam is not happy with this.
Let me make you believe it as well. Look, so, Thiago Silva's career, he's won the Champions League, no Premier League title so far, Serie A, Liga, it's very successful, obviously. So we classifying the player's career or the quality of the player? Because career-wise, Saliba could win a World Cup in France, Champions League's possible as well, Premier League title's possible as well. He can eclipse all of that. And I also think individual honours as well. Has Thiago Silva ever been named, I'm not quite sure, like Player of the Year? Saliba, France Young Player of the Year as well. Comes to the Premier League first season, PFA Team of the Year. So achievements-wise, I think he's capable of matching, and if not going further.
I think people underestimate how good Thiago Silva is, and the fact that he came to the Premier League at the age of, 34, 35, and still is considered as one of the best centre-backs in the world, proves to you how good he is and how good he has been. He's just like the model professional. Every club that you've been at, or every club that he's been at, every player says he leads by example. He's always fit. He's one of those players that he transcends generations. No one expected him to be this guy at Chelsea. No, even Chelsea fans didn't really think that he was going to have the impact he did. Came in first season, won the Champions League. Like that proves to you the type of player he is. And on top of that, for Brazil, he also won a few trophies as well. Yes, he didn't win a World Cup, and Brazil in that term have not
Copa
been
America.
Copa America.
23 major trophies as well.
And that's a lot, and he's still going. I don't know if Saliba. It's a hard question because he's still very young. But if he has half of what Thiago Silva has done, he will still have a great career.
Yeah.
Two top players.
And Thiago Silva's 39 still playing.
Yeah,
Whoa.
incredible.
He's old.
It's a really hard question. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have my breakfast tomorrow. I don't know what Saliba's going to do for the next 15 years. It's so hard to just make that call and decide. And I think it's a lot easier to just say false than make a prediction that Saliba's going to win the domestic trophies in multiple countries. He's going to win it with his nation. He's going to be consistently. I would say Thiago Silva's consistently been one of the top 5 centre-backs in world football for many, many years. You don't just do that. Do you know, you were saying it's possible that he can win a Champions League, it's possible that he can win a World Cup. That's what it is, still just possibility at the end of the day.
Okay, very good. Let's go on to the next one then. Another young player involved in this one. True or false, Moises Caicedo is a better signing than Declan Rice?
That's what you need to do. Indecisive.
This is really tough.
So you've gone true here. £115 million on Caicedo, 105 on Declan.
I'm sitting on the fence with this one. So
You're
if
not,
I could,
'cause you're not
if I
That's the
could
whole
do,
point of the game is it's true or false.
I know it's tough because I think that they're similar type of signings. Like they're going to transform the squads that they're in terms of what they're bringing to their midfield. Declan Rice, I think he's been an incredible signing for Arsenal. I wanted him at Chelsea a few years back, but I think Moises Caicedo, what he's done for Brighton and what he's currently doing for his nation and what he's proven that he can do at Chelsea, I think they're going to have a similar impact. So I'm half and half. But in terms of their ceiling, I think Caicedo's ceiling is just a little bit higher. He's younger. He's already proven that he can play in the Premier League, what he done for Brighton to get them into European spots. I think he's been incredible and he's only going to get better.
3 years younger than Declan, he is.
Who's the captain, though?
Captain where?
Declan Rice is the captain. He's captain West Ham to a trophy. That's a
that's
massive
fine.
achievement. So Caicedo's a very good player, but Rice is equally as good and has that leadership quality as well on top of that. Plus Premier League experience. Do you know what I mean? So character is very important. I don't know about Caicedo's character because we're not seeing him over a longer period of time. So maybe in a couple of years' time you could say that, but for now he's done it for one season properly. £150 million is a lot of money. I wouldn't have paid that. Chelsea do because Chelsea a bit,
You
you
would
know.
have paid- you would have paid
No,
that.
but not 115. And I think also he's in the wrong position as well. I think he's better probably slightly higher up the pitch. And if I'd signed him at Arsenal, Rice would be the 6 and he'd be a bit higher up the pitch.
No, but that just shows how versatile he is. He can play in multiple positions and he can do that very well. He can play right back. He's done that quality at Brighton.
Nice.
And I think, honestly, that it's very like half and half. I can't put them over each other, but I think ceiling, the fact that he's 3 years younger and he's already proven the Premier League is the hardest league in the world and he's proven that he can hang. So yeah, man.
Neve's gone false.
Yeah, but I do think it is a hard one to make the call on so early. I think things will change as well when Chelsea figure out the best midfield, when Nkunku comes back into the team, how things change up. We can't make a decision. But right now, Rice feels like more of a solution to Arsenal than Caicedo does to Chelsea. But that's right now.
But
It could change.
the team that he's gone into, Declan Rice as well, is a lot more settled. His position was already basically made for him already. Like you said, the transition that Chelsea are going through, this is still the early periods, but he's already proven that he's got that quality. The first game, everyone was not writing him off, but they were saying, oh, the price tag, oh, he's giving away a penalty, this, that. For a young player, that's a lot to go through, and he's already proven he's over that. Like, he's had great performances since then, and I think he's genuinely just going to keep on kicking on.
OK, next up, true or false, Martin Ødegaard has a higher ceiling than Enzo Fernandez. What are we saying?
Higher ceiling?
Yeah.
Higher ceiling.
Higher
Ødegaard.
ceiling than Enzo Fernandez. Neve,
Martin
let's go to you
Ødegaard.
first. Oh, he changed your mind.
Higher ceiling. It's in terms of ability right now, I think Ødegaard. But in terms of ceiling, that's just so impossible to predict. It's sort of similar to Caicedo. As I don't truly know yet until we see that midfield, we see everyone in their right position. Like, I don't truly know where Enzo's going to work the best at Chelsea yet. And until we see that, I don't know what the ceiling therefore is. I think... hang on, so true means... I'm getting confused.
True means Ødegaard.
True means
Ødegaard.
Ødegaard, for now. I'll stick with that.
And Sam, you're going false.
Yeah, I think he's already proven the type of quality he has. He's still very, very young, and he came into an unsettled Chelsea side and became the best player. And to do that, I think people underestimate what it is to come to the Premier League, to have that price tag in January and still be a player that now all the Chelsea fans are relying on to, you know, lead the charge. And he's proven that he's going to get better and better. This season, he's kicked on as well. He's still very young. We saw what he done for Argentina in the World Cup when he got into the side. It's like, OK, this is a player that's going to almost free up Messi. And we saw how him transitioning into that side allowed them, not saying he was the sole reason that they won the World Cup, the whole team did incredible. But
Messi played quite well, didn't he?
Yeah, he played all right, but he was a big part of that. So, yeah, I think ceiling-wise, if this is just him getting started, there's no way you can say that he hasn't got a higher ceiling than Odegaard.
Bhavs? You disagree with Sam once again. It's a regular theme that we're getting.
He's just doing it now, though, genuinely.
Look, ultimately, I also believe Enzo's got a very high ceiling as well. But for the only thing I'll say is he in the right environment at Chelsea for that? Ooh. Because with Chelsea, can he maximise his strengths? We've seen how he wasted a lot of strikers over the years. So if he's in the right environment, I think, yeah, he can excel. But at Chelsea, I'm not quite sure if that is. What is his ceiling at Chelsea? A league title, Champions League? Because right now, Chelsea are a bit of a mess. So until you guys sort that out, I will always be... I mean, you're 11th.
That's an old narrative. That's an old narrative. If you look at what we've achieved in the last few weeks, obviously
You've won every game.
No, but that's what I'm saying. People,
you got 3 points. Well done.
No, it's not 3 points. We won 3 games on the trot, and people are trying to hold the narrative of last season. It was a mess. Everyone can admit that, but this season, the strategy in the summer was very clear.
Yes.
You could see what the team are trying to achieve with the youngsters and building the team around Enzo, Caicedo, and all of these things. You can't tell me now that this looks like the same squad of last season. It just doesn't. The last 3 games, even when we were losing before the 3 games that we won on the bounce, you could see what Pochettino was trying to do with the squad. You can hear what the players are saying about what he's trying to do as well. You know, Pochettino, he's great at...
I love Pochettino,
exactly, and
yeah.
he's good at building, you know, the mentality and youngsters believing in him, and everyone speaks so highly of him. So I can't... All that mess talk, I'm not having it no more, because it's just not the case anymore.
Do one more?
Yeah, I think
one more?
A quick fire one here, I reckon. True or false, Arsene Wenger has a greater Premier League legacy than Jose Mourinho?
Sam is shaking his head, by the way.
True.
He has a greater legacy than Jose Mourinho.
In the Premier League?
Yeah.
Within English football?
Yeah.
Yep.
Arsene Wenger has a greater legacy, yeah.
2 Arsene Wenger fans. Go on, Neve.
Yeah, I mean...
She's backing me up now, Sam.
Mourinho, in terms of within our memories and what he's achieved and the trophies he's won across Europe, of course, Mourinho has achieved more. But in terms of creating a legacy in English football and what that's done, you know, he turned what was primarily a British league into a European league. He brought so much into football that
so did Jose, though?
Not really. Not for
22
22 whole years of having the whole pyramid in England, not just the top division, but the whole of English football. If you talk to managers and coaches from the last 20 years who've managed clubs even in League 2, below that, and where they got ideas from conditioning, diet, style of play, a lot of still will reference Wenger.
No, I respect that. Arsene Wenger, great manager. But Jose Mourinho, when he came into the league, like, he shifted the energy. Even Alex Ferguson spoke about, who's this guy? Like, he's coming saying he's the special one. Chelsea, not really known like that. You're getting top 4, you're winning a few trophies here and there, but you're saying I'm the special one. Coming into the Chelsea side, and he's winning leagues back-to-back, conceding 15 goals in a full season. Like, getting to semi-finals and not finals, but getting to the latter stages in the Champions League. He did a lot in the Premier League. He won, what, three Premier League titles?
Both won 3 Premier League titles.
And I think he's just... Because of his arrogance, people try to look at it as like, he's not that guy, but I think he's incredible.
And Bhavs is on the fence, so we'll let him have a breather and have a quick break. But I don't think they're going to agree on this one, something tells me.